Who's that? Commander Claw. Who's bad? Commander Claw. Welcome to episode 3 of the 10-Minute Commander Guide series, where we quickly describe one or two possibilities on how to build around the commander Raffine, Scheming Seer. Our goal is to share new deck ideas and help you discover new cards in case you got bored with your own deck idea. Wizards of the Coast has granted EDH players an Esper Sphinx Demon, allowing commander players to be rewarded for a looting-like ability. Meet Raffine, Scheming Seer, who is a 1/4 flyer with Ward 1 and the triggered ability that reads, whenever you attack target attacking creature, connives X, where X is the number of attacking creatures. Draw X cards, then discard X cards. Put a +1/+1 counter on that creature for each non-land card discarded this way. Did you know there are 9 spells that grant the ward abilities to other creatures? At the end of the video, learn what these 9 cards are. Returning to Raffine, the Scheming Seer, we want our game plan to be combat focused with flyers. This is our way of building around the Sphinx Demon, and that can make your opponents scowl when they see it as your commander. So what are the top 5 cards to build around this strategy of combat with flyers? Probably the most expensive card I'm going to recommend, it is Bitter Blossom. Bitter Blossom says at the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life and you create a 1/1 black fairy rogue creature with flying. The more fairies at your disposal, the bigger X can be with your connive ability. The pace which fairies are produced can be fast if your opponents don't destroy Bitter Blossom immediately. The second card we have is Ink Shield. For 3 colorless, 1 white, 1 black. It's an instant that reads, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to you this turn. For each 1 damage prevented this way, create a 2/1 white and black Inkling creature token with flying. Gross. This card is perfect for the opponent who is recklessly attacking you with 10, 20, 30, 50 plus creatures and is confident you're going to bite the dust. Laugh in their face when you prevent all combat damage and create that many 2/1 Inkling creatures. Wait, they fly? Yeah. Now imagine conniving with 10 plus attacking creatures, draw 10 and discard 10 and pump your creature during your next combat phase. Our next card is Sky Cat Sovereign. For 1 white, 1 blue, it's an elemental cat. Flying Sky Cat Sovereign gets +1/+1 for each other creature you control with flying. Tap 2 and 1 white, 1 blue, create a 1/1 white cat bird creature token with flying. This cat has been drinking some Red Bull, y'all, and his kitty crew. Sky Cat Sovereign has too many pros, such as a low mana cost, and is ideal for adding equipments like Black Blade Reforged or Mace of the Valiant. The number 4 card on this list is Dream Trawler. For 2 colorless, 2 white, 2 blue. It's another Sphinx with flying. Lifelink. Whenever you draw a card, Dream Trawler gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Whenever Dream Trawler attacks, draw a card. Hey, then discard a card. Dream Trawler gains hexproof until end of turn. Tap it. Take a breather. Think about all those abilities. The Dream Trawler synergizes perfectly with Raffine, along with a supporting cast of attacking creatures. The Sphinx has power boost, card draw, and evasion. Wait, add lifelink to the mix and be prepared to get all the attention from your playgroup. Our final card is Court of Grace. For 2 colors, 2 white. It's an enchantment that reads, when Court of Grace enters the battlefield, you become the monarch. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. If you're the monarch, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying instead. It's a powerful token generator that you will love. However, the only downside is keeping the monarch emblem from the 3 other players who want to draw a card and prevent you from creating 4/4 flying angels. So be prepared to play defense and be the number 1. Now, how do you handle the discard effects from the connive mechanic using Raffine? Well, feel free to pause the video, and I'm about to show you 4 more cards you should add. The first are replacement effects, such as Library of Ling and Bag of Holding. My favorite is Bag of Holding because whenever you discard a card, exile that card from your graveyard. Tap 2, draw a card, then discard a card. Tap 4, sack Bag of Holding, return all cards exiled with Bag of Holding to their owner's hand. So in a way, you're never really losing those cards, you just saved them for later and brought them back. The next 2 cards allow you to shuffle your graveyard back into your library. And the first card is Felden's Cane, a 1 mana artifact. Tap it, sack it, shuffle your graveyard into your library. Next up is Quest for Ancient Secrets. It does the same thing, except whenever a card is put into your graveyard from anywhere, you may put a quest counter on Quest for Ancient Secrets. Remove 5 quest counters from Quest for Ancient Secrets and sacrifice it. Target player shuffles his or her graveyard into their library. The second Quest for Ancients is just to give you redundancy in your deck. Felden's Cane is obviously the better option. Now let's boost up the draw effects from connive. Here are 5 cards to make your card draw go crazy. First up is Military Intelligence. 1 colorless, 1 blue enchantment. Whenever you attack with 2 or more creatures, draw a card. Next up is Bident of Thassa. 2 colors, 2 blue, legendary enchantment artifact. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. Tap 1, tap blue, tap itself. Creatures your opponents control attack this turn if able. Gotta love this next card. Teferi's Ageless Insight, another 4 mana, 2 colors, 2 blue, legendary enchantment. If you would draw a card, except the first one you draw each of your draw steps, draw 2 cards instead. Next up is Coastal Piracy, the same amount of mana. It's another enchantment. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. And last but not least, the honorable mention is Wizard's class. I am going to hype up the Wizard class from Adventures of Forgotten Realm. It's for 1 mana. The first level says you have no maximum hand size. Level 2, tap 3 mana. 2 colors, 1 blue. Whenever this class becomes level 2, draw 2 cards. And the best one is level 3. 4 colors, 1 blue. Whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. The most important thing you need to know about classes, when you level up, you do not lose their previous ability. Now let's continue with the diversity of adding token generators to our Raffine deck. The first card is Lingering Souls. It's not a token generator, however, it is a sorcery for 2 colors, 1 white. Create 2 1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying, and it has flashback for 1 white and 1 black. Sometimes the smallest of synergies are the building blocks to your win conditions. With flashback ability, you can cast cards from your graveyard, so if Lingering Souls gets discarded during your connive mechanic, it's not a big deal. It qualifies to add a +1/+1 counter on your creature, and you can cast it later from your graveyard. Now we have Una, Queen of the Fae, for 3 colorless and 3 hybrid blue-black. Legendary creature fairy wizard with flying. It's a 5/5. Tap X and tap hybrid blue or black. Choose a color. Target opponent exiles the top X cards of their library. For each card of their chosen color exiled this way, create a 1/1 blue and black fairy rogue creature token with flying. She is a powerhouse. Only expect to play with her 1 time. Next card up is Notorious Throng for 3 colorless, 1 blue, tribal sorcery for rogues. It has the ability Prowl, 5 colorless, 1 blue. You may cast this card for its Prowl cost if you dealt combat damage to a player this turn with a rogue. Okay, now create X, 1/1 black fairy rogue creature tokens with flying, where X is the damage dealt to your opponents this turn. If this spell's Prowl cost is paid, take an extra turn after this one. Just a quick note here. It says damage, not combat damage, for the regular ability. So if you are draining life from an opponent, this ability will still work. Cast now for our final card is drain 3 life from each opponent and cast colorless strong artifact creating 9 creature has mirrored, equipped for 4. Whenever it attacks for each opponent other than defending player, you may create a token that's a copy of that creature that tap in that player or you walker they control. Exile the tokens at end of combat. Another token